Welcome back to another Over the Top podcast, coming at you from a different angle this week. I'm Brandon, as always.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Juan.
And we're back at you this week. Let us know how you feel about this angle. Comment below. Oh, also, please, before we start, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff for YouTube, all the algorithm helpfulness. Appreciate you guys. How y'all living this week? How's everybody doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored, brother. How are you?
I love that answer. I'm doing well, brother. How you living, Juan?
Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody.
Happy St. Patty's, boys.
You guys forgot your green today.
Hey, I had to give him the icy white today.
Everything green is good for you. Don't forget that.
Hey, eat your veggies, kids. Happy St. Patty's Day to those who celebrate as well.
Oh, the real holiday.
The real one.
Yeah.
That was last week, I believe, right? Probably. The week before.
That's probably like every weekend, honestly.
Nah, you know St. Patty's is different. But we're getting way into too regional conversation right now. Y'all want to just get into it?
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it, boys. Elephant in the room. Champions League. A lot of narratives in this last round that were either furthered or picked up, or we got a lot to talk about. First match, I think, is what we all expected. I think we can get to this one first. Liverpool-Madrid, 1-0. Boring win. They got through. Nothing we didn't expect. Good game.
Yeah.
Wasn't great. Wasn't terrible. Just, what we expected, really. Just
really,
solid.
Really professional win for Madrid.
Yeah.
They kept it steady. Liverpool, not too many chances, to be honest. So
They looked like Liverpool of this season. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty straightforward game for them. Like, no one expected anything different, I don't think, other than Liverpool fans. But, like, no, I think anyone just coming in objectively was expecting Madrid to go through. So that wasn't too much of a shock.
yeah, for sure.
We have Napoli going through.
But I won't lie, I was holding my breath, hoping that someone would finally embarrass Madrid in their stadium.
Yeah.
It's apparently never been done.
I mean,
it wasn't going to be Madrid. I mean, it wasn't going to be Liverpool.
I really liked the game. I thought it was pretty interesting. Liverpool really stepped up, but Madrid, they held their own, and then
Too good.
Yeah, they just came in and did what they had to do.
They had a bunch of good score opportunities as well throughout the game, and then Vinicius got that lucky assist to Benzema. He was half falling down on the ground, and then
Hey, it counts.
that one goal kind of sealed it. I mean, if Madrid scored a goal, it was near impossible for Liverpool to come back, but I never really thought that Madrid was in any type of threat to come back. I didn't feel any threat from Liverpool, which could also be tied to their lack of midfield. But
yeah, Vinicius top 3 right now.
Easily.
Top 3.
top 3 in the world, yeah.
Easily.
I mean,
he's in that conversation with
with Haaland and Mbappe. Yeah, I think so too.
Sure.
Definitely could compete for a Ballon d'Or, but we all know that's gonna go to Messi. So
It's not even a real competition until he and Ronaldo retire.
I think after this year, it's definitely gonna be between Haaland, Mbappe, and Vinicius for a while, until there's somebody else that probably comes up.
Who gets it first, Haaland or Mbappe?
Yeah, probably that Jamaican 16-year-old, right?
I mean,
Don't be shocked.
realistically, with the season that Haaland is having, if he wins Champions League and he wins the Prem and breaks the record, I think he should have it over Messi.
Oh,
He should have it over Messi, I think, in my opinion. But
It's a lot of ifs, though. Arsenal looks like they're tying up the league. City's never won the Champions League, so...
I mean, it's not really ifs when Haaland's scoring 5 goals for you in a game.
I mean, Arsenal's still running away with the league.
but if City,
Still is.
if we still got 10 games left, right?
Yeah.
If City end up doing the double, and Haaland keeps this pace going,
Haaland could get the...
But what if we do the double? What about Rashford?
Europa League.
No,
Carabao? All right, don't do that.
Carabao and FA Cup?
Carabao and Europa. Thank you.
my God.
And the treble?
That would be so funny if they win Europa.
Treble? Europa, FA, and Carabao.
All right.
Everything Tottenham couldn't win.
I can see.
But, Madrid is definitely a contender for to winning it all 100%.
Absolutely.
So how do you see Liverpool closing out the rest of the season? What's a good season for them? Just ending up in Champions League?
Top 4.
Yeah, you have to finish top 4 to call this a successful season in any capacity, I think.
they will really struggle to get a good midfielder to come to them if they're not in Champions League,
That's true.
and
Yeah,
that's what they
a
need.
Good point. But I was asking Juan a little earlier off camera if you could, at the end of the season, if someone gives you 70 for Salah, do you sell him and try to, I guess, revamp the entire
How old is he?
thing? Salah's 30.
Yep.
Okay.
70's a lot.
I heard
I'll take it.
PSG's in contention to bring him in.
Bring Salah in?
Yeah,
I see why, because Messi's heavily touted to get out of there and go back to Barca. I've been seeing a lot of talk about that. Like, and it's like gets stressed more.
I want to talk
every-
about Messi returning to Barca at the end of the pod because I feel like I have a lot to
Push that,
contribute
push
to that.
Push that off.
All right.
Because we all want that to happen, you know what I mean? As football
We all?
fans, you know. Well, I mean, I'm a Madrid fan and I still want that to happen. So
All right. So other really big game this week. I actually called for an upset of Leipzig, I believe.
yeah,
But City Leipzig. Wishful thinking. I get a little excited.
I think you pick with your heart, to be honest.
That's true. But what was it? The final was
7-0.
7-0.
7-0.
Okay.
yeah. The thing, so Haaland scored a 5-piece.
What drugs is he on? What's
Do
the
they
what's-
drug test like football players?
What
after
drug
the
would
game?
help you with soccer? Like, that's the thing
You
I
know-
always understand. Like, I don't get, like, maybe like speed, but like
Yeah.
it's not a speed. He's just clinical. Like
Exactly.
like you
the,
can't take finishing steroids.
the day after
like-
the day after Dame scored like 70.
Oh, he'd be a problem.
The day after
look
Dame
into that.
scored 70, they drug tested it. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
do
that's
they-
basketball protocol.
they-
I
yeah,
don't know
I
if they do that for football.
But do they do that for soccer?
I don't think so. I think they're just like, you did it. Good job.
They do that in the NFL. I mean, I know for a fact.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah, I don't
a-
think-
a kicker laid out the punt return.
Oh, and they're like, you don't do that.
They
You,
drug
well, hold
tested.
on. What you been lifting? Wait a minute. But yeah, Holland, bro, five, not and didn't play the whole game.
He played 60 minutes.
Yo.
That's
so
a great.
Holland scored 5.
Yeah.
As we know, the records for most goal in a Champions League
6.
game is 5.
It's 5.
Oh, well, 5. Yes.
Now
6 breaks.
Messi
Messi shares it with him.
and Holland are tied.
And his coach at the time was who? Conspiracy Corner.
was Pep at the time?
Conspiracy
I
Corner.
think so.
Conspiracy Corner.
I think so. I think that's when Pep
Was
was
he
there.
trying to protect his and Messi's legacy? Was he trying to say I'm the guy with both?
I mean, the game was already, what, 6-0 at that time? Like,
Realistically, as a
Come
coach, you
on.
probably do pull him
you
just for
need
common
Haaland
sense
for
sake.
other games. Like, why are you going to keep him in and risk him getting hurt? You know
I
what
understand
mean?
it,
Like,
but
we
from
all
a
want
player
to see
standpoint.
break the record, but you want to see him break the record when the game's like at least like
Yeah,
somewhat close.
But
you
you're
know
not
what I mean?
gonna. How you gonna score 6 and it's close?
The game is close.
5-6.
Yeah, it's gonna be
like-
8 to
like a
4 game.
like a 6-4 game. You know what I mean? That'd be some crazy
Oh,
shit.
no shot.
Yeah.
That'd be
No shot.
That'd be, well, how did Messi break it?
Wasn't it 5-2?
I don't even think Messi was in a knockout game. So
Was
this
that
was a knockout game, if anything.
He played against Leverkusen.
And what was the score? Probably like 5-1 or something. 6-1.
Let's see. 7-1.
Yeah.
That's not a real game. Yeah, they should have let. They should have
They
let them
should
in.
have let him.
And that was the same coach.
Oh, it was Guardiola as
I
well.
believe so.
I mean, personally, okay. If I know you're now a center forward, you know you've transitioned.
Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
This guy.
In my Sunday League final or semifinal, the game before the final, I scored a hat trick last year.
You're now a center forward. Juan's done his time.
Last
center
summer.
forward as well. If you're just like personal achievement in soccer, if you guys are at that point, 30 minutes left, 1 goal to break the record, and your coach is pulling you off, what do you do?
I think my coach knows not to pull me off.
I would be frustrated, but Haaland's only like 22. So he'll be back there at a certain point.
You can't
You
just
hope it.
count on
You
him.
hope
it, but
you can't.
That's
count
not how
on it.
life works.
You
Like
see
he
how
could break
players-
his leg next week.
You
Yeah.
saw Dele
God
Alli
forbid.
on top of the world at 22. If you told me Dele Alli would be banished from a Turkish
Hey,
halfway through the
push that off a
season,
little
The
bit.
coach is like, "Yeah, we're just not playing."
Literally, it's just like,
Go
yo, by
back-
the way,
go back to sign him at the end of the
he's not
season.
in my. But that's more common than you think. I had a friend that happened to. They're just like, yeah, I'm the
You're
coach
not
here
in the
now.
plans.
You're not gonna play, but we're not selling you. But you're not gonna play. What is that? You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that. I don't like that. Tell me then.
So that's weird, but
Yeah.
it is the coach's duty to nurture the team atmosphere.
Yeah.
So if they think a certain player is detrimental to that, I could understand why.
I don't know. I feel like
them out of there.
if a coach has been coaching me for X amount of time, he knows that if I'm on 4, I'm thinking about the record. I got the 5th. He knows all I'm thinking about is the record.
Holland for like 6 months now, so
You know all I'm thinking about is the record. Unless Holland is like, because he's not like the most selfish guy. Like he's making some passes sometimes. I'm like, yo, if you were selfish, you could just do whatever you want.
No, and I do appreciate that Holland after the game they kind of asked him about the record, and his response was like, "Well, I could have scored some in the first half. I missed some chances."
Yeah, true.
Me, I would have been emotional.
He took me out. This is ridiculous.
He was like, "Well, I missed a few chances, so I could have scored more."
Yeah.
Well, so like that sort of responsibility and ownership of like
I like that.
his mentality, you could see.
Did you hear his personal goal for himself?
What's his personal goal?
5 goals and 5 touches in a game.
So his first 5 touches, all goals.
He said that's his goal. He's like, I scored 5, but I didn't get it in 5 touches.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't really touch the ball a tremendous amount of times.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, Holland being Holland, playing with Kevin De Bruyne, 5 and 5 is super possible. Like that's not even like crazy to think.
But the thing is, you usually take more than one touch before you shoot.
That's why I said De Bruyne. If he's playing the balls in that he does, he's
like
just
he
finishing
needs
that.
just one time everything.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
I mean,
But I'll give Holland some props is that it is possible because 3 of his goals were like rebound goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Like
he
those
knows
were
where to
3
be.
touches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
3 touches, 3 rebounds. Like he's always like.
I think he did it in 30 something touches. 37 or something like that, right?
I'm not shaming his goals by any way, shape, or form. I just think it's incredible how he always finds himself in the right position to score.
Chicharito
Like
type beat.
the ball somehow, like there's a rebound, it somehow lands at his foot, and he just puts it in. You know
He's
what I
a
mean?
student of
That's
the
a
Chicharito
skill.
school of finish.
Like that's a
That's
true
so-
center
yeah.
forward that they know. Like, all right, the ball's gonna end up here. I'm gonna wait until it gets here,
Right.
and I'm not gonna try to force
Just
anything.
reading the game.
He trusts his teammates enough to well, obviously when the goalie saves it, you don't know exactly where he's gonna go, but you know the instincts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So why do you think some players are penalized? Not penalized, but they get criticized sometimes for that. Like, oh, he's just tap-ins.
because Holland scores more than just tap-ins. He ended up scoring 3 tap-ins this game, but other games he just like scores ridiculous goals. You know?
And
I mean,
think
but you're
some
saying, like,
players
knowing
can
where
get
to be-
penalized for that, just depending on like the system that a coach is trying to play. If that's your play style, then that's fine. When you look at Giroud, where he's not going to create his own goal. I think he's a reliable goal scorer, but he can like create his own buckets for real.
Yeah.
So him being like a tap-in merchant, as they say, that's fine if he's in the right team for it. But if he's in like a team like Arsenal at the moment, they need more of a fluid center forward who can do a lot more than just tap-ins, where they have Trossard at the moment or Gabriel Jesus.
I just feel like fans are fickle in the way that
They'll always
they
find something to complain about. A week ago, they were talking about is Holland like doing as well as he should? Is this the right system or team for me? I was like, how
I
many
hate
goals
that
in 6
conversation.
months?
Yeah, I hate
Yeah,
that
like,
conversation.
What?
Like
It's
right
just
after
like
the
he's
break,
effective either way. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
like right after the break, Holland wasn't doing that great, and everyone was like, "Yo, Holland,
Oh, he
like
fell
what's
off.
going on? He fell off." You know
He
what
hasn't
I'm
scored a
saying?
hat trick in
Not
5
that
straight
great
games.
for
What the
him.
hell?
Holland, and now everyone's like, "Holland's back." You know what I'm saying? He scored 9 goals in the last 2 games. He scored 3 today. Like, or no, he scored 8 goals in the last 2 games. But still, it's just like.
Is that like part of our microwave culture of just expecting everything?
That's probably
to
a
be-
good part of that. That's probably a big part of it. We're used to just
you
like
can fall off.
we have such
2
short
bad
memories,
weeks,
like
yeah.
with everything. Like, okay, you scored a hat trick, but that's a month ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's like
What can you do for me right
that's
now? You know what
8
I'm saying?
social media
That's even
cycles ago. You know,
How
like,
I'm feeling about Salah when I'm talking about possibly selling him. That conversations come up. He's still gonna end the season probably with like 15 plus Premier League goals in one of Liverpool's worst seasons.
Yeah.
And he scored 20 plus in every year he's been in the Premier League. So he isn't exactly slowing down.
Yeah. This is arguably Harry Kane's best season too. He has 23 goals already. He might end up with 30 goals by the end of the season.
with nothing to show.
And that's crazy because like, huh? Is it
No, I
not
said
one?
with nothing to show for it.
Yeah, it's one of his best seasons, and he might end up with 30 goals, which is a very
Unreal, yeah.
It's a really good
Imagine
season.
he breaks the record, but he still doesn't.
That would be
Yo.
hilarious.
Two
I
players
would
breaking
love
the
it.
record
Oh
in
my
one
God.
season.
Imagine he's literally like
What the record's what?
most goals for
32
Tottenham. Most goals in the
33?
season. 32, I believe.
I think it might be 32. Salah.
Salah had 32, yeah. I
He
think
could
before
break
it was
it.
38, right? Like the real record that some people consider the real one is 38.
Yeah,
But that was with 2 extra.
That was
games,
more
I
games,
believe,
yeah.
With a few more games.
I think it was 4 more games,
I don't know, I
actually.
just have to circling back to Holland is I give him so much credit because personally, I'm definitely someone who's bigger on like the team and like whatever's best for the team.
Really?
Of course, like awards like MVP where it's kind of like opinion based and not exactly like absolute.
Mm.
And I don't care much for it, but that's a personal record that I think if Pep tried to bring me off in the moment, I would have had to like have that conversation with him right there on the field.
Do you think
Even though it's a terrible look, I would have been like, Coach, no.
Do you
Like,
think you'd
no.
be conscious?
not happening.
This is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like, I want to write records in a sense. You know what I mean? I want those Champions League titles. I want the team awards, but like, let me have this.
Yeah.
Why? Don't stop me.
You think you'd be conscious of the record in the moment, though? You're not going into the game looking it up before the like. Do you think it's
I
just
think
common knowledge? Like you just know
If
what it
you
is
love
playing in
football,
Champions League.
You knew the
Yeah.
record before you went to the game, right?
Yeah.
Did you know the record was 5?
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, that's fair. That's
And,
fair.
and there's
He
points
definitely
where
knows that.
You sound
Yeah, you're
smiling
playing
on the
in
field.
it.
There's
Yeah.
certain points where
yeah.
just. I mean, if I have 5 goals, I'm gonna be smiling.
And then one of your teammates is gonna be like, "Yo, you know, you're right on there with the 5." Yeah. So yeah.
Why not one more? I'll give you the assist.
I'm not gonna lie. As a captain, I'll be like, Coach, give him 10 minutes. Just give him 10. If he doesn't get it by 70, take him off. Yeah. As a captain, I'll fight for 10 for you. I'll fight for 10.
Give me 10.
I'll fight for 10. He could do it in 10. Coach, he gave me 5 and 50. He could give me 1 and 10. Like he's on track to give me 1 and 10.
Nah, but you know, that is your job as a coach to see the bigger picture and understand that.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the adult.
Bigger fish to fry, and yeah, if you were to get a serious injury in those 10 minutes, then
You look like an
everyone's looking
idiot.
at you as like,
You look like an idiot.
you know, you ruined our season. So
Yeah, especially
he was brought in to win the Champions League, right? City's already been winning the league. They've come short in the Champions League the last couple of years.
All the time.
when teams also are losing that badly, it tends to get a little bit more physical because they get frustrated and stuff. And
Yeah, and then you
the
have less
last
to
thing
play for. You
that's
know
the
you're not
last
going
thing
through.
you want is Haaland to be injured because of that. But
It looked
yeah,
kind of
I mean,
hard
I
to
agree
injure
with
Haaland, though. That's a big boy. That's a big like. That's not the easiest thing to do.
yeah,
That's a big guy. When he takes off and he's determined to run down the middle of the field, you're not really stopping that.
that is very true.
He takes those first 3 steps. He looks like Giannis, bro. I'm just like, oh my god, what is going on right now?
Very few people can stop him, if any.
You think Van Dijk got him?
Yeah, right.
Van Dijk's having
Yeah, right.
not that great of a season.
Yeah.
More like
right.
Lissandro Martinez, right?
Yeah, 5'8" guy gonna be going to somebody that's
Hey,
6'4".
5'8" guy has the most aerial battles won in the league. Relax.
Against Howard?
No, in general.
5'8" is taller than you think.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
So on a note, just going back to Madrid for a second.
Yeah.
We just want to congratulate Madrid and Benzema for activating like the 1-year extension in his contract.
Oh yes, yes, I did see
He's
that.
sticking around 1 more year.
Where do you go if you're Bensley? Stay home.
Yeah.
Do it where they love you.
You
You know
want
what
to
I'm
see him
saying?
retire in Madrid.
Yeah, of course.
Who's replacing Benz?
Nobody, because he's not going nowhere. Stay where you are.
For another year, he's staying there.
He has to
Who's gonna
Ben's
replace him?
Jr. Bro, he ain't got no kids.
I don't know. Hopefully
He don't have any kids.
Yeah, we need another Benz in the side, man. I don't know who did this. I'm sure they've been thinking about that for years now, like who we're gonna get to
every
pack
year
him
someone
up.
pops up new, like the Benfica
Endrick?
forward right now. We saw.
I guess
playing the World
Endrick,
Cup.
they're waiting until Endrick comes.
Right. Of course.
But I don't know if that's a person that's going to really come in and like
Make that instant
It's
impact
instant
right
impact,
away.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Madrid. They don't really baby you or give you time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
you
no
need instant
time.
impact.
You either score goals or we're going to buy somebody else for 100 million.
Haaland or Mbappe, they're out there.
That's true. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Money talks. Oh, come on.
That's
Sorry. Fulham scored. Currently, Manchester United and Fulham are playing. We're filming on a Sunday, and Fulham just scored.
You love to hear
Harry Maguire's on the field, so that's probably why.
it. You love to hear it.
All right, moving on
Okay.
to.
Oh wait, we are ignoring the possibly like the most beautiful narrative of this Champions League. 3 Italian teams into the next round.
Yep. that
Best
is-
league in the world.
Best league in the world. Well, there's more Italian teams than any other
Yeah.
country.
Hey,
So what do we have left? 1 Spanish, 1 English.
2 English.
One Portuguese.
Oh,
2 English. Stop
Two-
sleeping on
two-
Chelsea.
Excuse me.
Stop sleeping on. I know you don't pay attention to things Tottenham is
2
in, so you don't really
English,
pay attention to a lot. But
One Portuguese.
Chelsea's there.
Surprisingly. After
Hey,
the
don't
shit
sleep.
season,
Don't go to Stanford and think it's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, this is reminding me.
It's
of,
not gonna be
Do
sweet,
you
but
remember when Chelsea won that first Champions League
Yes.
in 2012?
Yes.
If you remember correctly, Chelsea
With
actually,
Mo?
No, I don't think Mo was a part of that squad.
That was a
I think that
Mourinho's
was like a year
Champions
before.
League,
No,
right?
that was Roberto Di Matteo. Chelsea was very unstable where
Yeah, this is when they win Champions League. When you don't think they're gonna do anything.
Actually, if you remember, Chelsea didn't make the Champions League, and the only reason they were in it the next year is because they won
won
the
it.
Champions League. And you had
Yeah.
that automatic qualification that you always get to defend your title.
yeah.
So
Chelsea
That-
does it when you don't think they're gonna do it.
yeah, true.
Don't go to Stanford and think it's sweet. They have not lost at Stanford in Champions League in a long
They
time.
beat a Bayern team they had no business beating.
Yeah.
They beat a City team that
Don't sleep.
They probably didn't have the most business.
Don't
beating,
sleep. And the quality is there. They might just find it one day. Don't
I
sleep.
mean, yeah,
Champions
they're a
League.
good side. That's why they're still.
Ball is round.
So Mudryk might act like he's worth $100 million.
Muddy.
Score some goals.
I don't know. I saw a post from him, but I don't know if that was real. It was like a post of a post. But he seems to love Chelsea. He was basically just like London is blue. Like, ha ha ha, I almost went to Arsenal kind of thing. After they got their ass buzzed.
Well, I hope he's laughing at the end of the season.
Oh, wow. A little salty there.
Right, so 3 Italian teams made it.
Yeah.
Greatest league ever.
No, but that's
But
nice
yeah.
for Serie A. That's big for Serie A.
Milan,
where
Inter,
they have-
Milan and Inter in the next round since first time since I think the early 2000s.
Yeah, and who would have guessed that Juventus?
Napoli.
Juventus is not a part of
you
it.
know? That's been their representation in European
God.
competitions for the last
Speaking of
couple of years.
Juventus, Pogba out with injury again. Just
Oh,
prolonged.
I
yeah.
guess for the rest of the season now.
That's unfortunate. Oh,
Sad.
it's looking like the rest of the season he's out.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah, I
So-
think it's like at least
Maybe another month.
a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Well, now let's just hope he gets healthy soon and
Yeah, prayers up, man. I don't
He
wish
gets back at it
wish
next
bad on
season.
him, but you just hate to see it.
yeah, that's tough. That's tough to hear.
But yeah, you think Napoli? But what? Napoli's winning the whole thing this year?
Considering they got the
Champions
easiest,
League or the
Champions League.
Serie A.
Well, Serie A, yeah, but Champions League
I think they could make it to the final pretty easily.
against who? Madrid, right?
I think
Well, what's Napoli's path to the final?
It's not a hard one.
Napoli's path is they got to be AC Milan, which is in the same league as them. What
Okay.
I think they've already done this year.
If they beat AC Milan, who's there?
The winner of Benfica Inter.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
They
not
got
like
the
a
easiest
crazy.
route.
Yeah, it's not a bad route. Like you
Yo,
beat
that's
two,
it. The thing is, it's so unfair because last year Liverpool got the easiest route to the final, and everyone was like, "Go Liverpool, Liverpool!" And then it gets to the final, shit the bet against Madrid because Madrid had the hardest route. We beat PSG, we beat Chelsea.
Talk about it.
Who else we beat? I don't know.
City?
City when we beat City.
I mean, it's not unfair. It's a random draw, unless you think
It's-
soccer is
I'm not
corrupt.
saying
And
it's
that's crazy to say soccer is corrupt. I don't think we can just go out there on a limb and say something like that.
I don't know. I know there's a lot of Italian people in that committee, so they might have finessed.
Yo, is this some
something there.
investigative Juan journalism right now? Have you been doing some deep dives on those
Listen,
trips to Spain, bro?
I think they try to make it as easy as much of a
Are
route.
those
for
trips to
Napoli
Spain
get to the
cover for
final.
you taking a train to Italy and doing some deep dives? But no, I
might
think
have
Napoli
to.
can absolutely get there. Best case scenario, you beat 2 league people that you are very familiar with.
Yeah.
Two league colleagues, I guess.
Well, Benfica's not going to be easy to beat. They have a very strong side. I think Benfica.
Yeah, you can see them getting past Inter, right?
I can see them.
I
getting
could,
past
but I
them.
kind of want Inter to win. I'm like kind of on this Italian train now.
Okay.
Just, I like the story.
You want to see Lukaku succeed, right?
He can do whatever he
Former
wants to
Manchester man.
do. He's a former everybody.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to
Yeah.
spend money on a person with no touch that can score some goals is like he's
But
a
no,
former them.
this is definitely a good thing for Italian football because
Absolutely.
I don't remember the last time. I think it's been since 2002 or something.
Yeah, very early 2000s. Very early 2000s. Like Inter and AC.
Since there was 3 Italian teams in the quarterfinals, which is like very like it's very impressive to have.
Might get some big names into the Serie A next year. A lot of Champions League opportunities.
The Prem has too much money.
Yeah.
If anything, Napoli's team is gonna be gone.
Yeah, it's gonna be just picked apart.
Dismantled.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can keep a little something together after Osimhen comes to United, though.
But who do you guys taking in that?
Don't hate me. I'd love for Chelsea to go through.
Oh, I was gonna talk about the Manchester City Bayern game.
Oh, okay.
I'm more
Bayern.
excited about that than.
That's gonna be a fun watch. But I want
be
Bayern to go through. I'm not saying they will go through. I want Bayern to go through. Matter of fact, let's solid picks. Who's going through? Bayern. Who's going through, Nick? Who's going through, Juan?
I want Bayern, but my heart tells me City.
Your heart or your mind? Because heart's telling me Bayern.
My mind, yeah.
My heart's telling me Bayern.
But my body.
We can't sing that. What's your pick?
I'm feeling City.
It's gross. The noisy neighbors.
Even though this could easily be an amazing final, in my opinion. Like, I think these are probably the 2 strongest teams left.
What's the best final possible from what we have here? Madrid City?
What do you mean, Napoli?
Nah, best final possibles.
Not Madrid City, I'm tweaking.
Napoli.
Napoli Madrid,
Yeah,
I'd like to see.
Napoli and
Madrid.
anyone but Chelsea.
Yeah.
He's the best final
Yeah.
possible.
Yo, that Chelsea Tottenham, was it Chelsea Tottenham? Chelsea City final was the worst final I've ever seen. I was just like, what is this? So defensive.
English football at its
Okay,
finest.
so are we? I'm sticking with Madrid as my
I'm going
title winners.
Title
So,
winners.
Who you got?
Napoli for the story.
No, I love that story.
It's a lovely story.
I mean, I did have City at first, but then I switched it to Madrid. I think I'm gonna keep it to Madrid.
I'd be offended if you didn't pick Madrid.
I mean, I'm a realistic fan. You know?
I know. Nah. There's no such thing.
It's kind of like me saying like, oh,
like I still think we're gonna win the Premier League. We're not, but I can say that out loud.
Are you even mathematically able to?
No, not at all. It's literally not possible. But I still think we might do it. The quadruple is on. Don't sleep, bro. But Champions League is actually really fun this year. I said it like it's not always great, but this is a really good year. I love the Italian story. I love the Napoli.
Everybody loves an underdog
killing
story.
it this year. I love Osimhen, masked up, new Bane. I love it. I love it. I do love it.
Yeah, but as far as the final 6, I think hopefully I don't see AC Milan or AC Milan in the final because they're very defensive setup.
Yeah,
I feel like
nobody wants to see like 2 Italian teams ever.
Napoli scores like 3-4 goals a game. If they play Madrid, it's gonna be like a 5-3 final.
Shootout.
Like it's gonna be an amazing game.
Bayern will be a little more tame. That might be like a 3-2. But I think
got the firepower.
They got the fire.
No, but I think they'll stamp out more of their attack. Is what I'm saying.
But speaking about Napoli, sorry if I butcher his name, but Kavra or whatever his name is, he was playing.
7-7.
Yeah, like a couple years ago, he was playing in like the Georgian league, I think, and then
he's from Georgia.
A couple of other leagues, and
Georgia.
He wasn't like a big name, and he's really established himself as like a very, very big name, and he actually has been, like very linked to like possibility to go to Madrid. And
that's why you know his name.
So you know you're having a good year.
That's why you know his name.
Yeah, and I mean he's also come out saying like if there's a team that he would want to play for, it is Madrid, and his agent has said that.
God.
The only thing is like
I feel like
everyone's
agent can just say that without consulting
same position
their
as Vinicius, so I don't think it would really work out, and he probably won't end up at Madrid. But it's crazy how like you can go from not being recognized at all to having like a breakout season.
Shout out to
like,
Jamie Vardy.
Everybody in the world knows him.
Yeah. Somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But we need to give this man a nickname. How is anyone supposed to pronounce
Chiva?
Yeah. Somebody gotta.
Vicha?
You gotta figure. We really do have to figure that one out. Brazilians are good with just getting one good, clean word out for the nickname. You know what I'm saying? Like
Kevicha.
Kevinho.
Kevicha.
Kev. Let's call him Kev.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Aspilicueta.
The American name.
And they just started calling him Dave when he first got to Chelsea.
Dave.
Nah, but yeah, Kev killing it. Kev going crazy.
Kev's doing his thing.
Kev, shout out to
Kev's
Kev.
doing his thing.
Shout out to you, Kev.
All right, so I think we should bring things back to the States and talk about the U.S. men's.
Like that segue, because when do we ever bring anything to the States on the soccer podcast? Maybe once every 3 episodes. But it's getting spicy out here in the States. You want to introduce this story? Which one of you can frame the story nicely for the people listening?
Yeah, I mean, nothing like American soccer without politics. You know what I mean? That's every level up from rec soccer all the way to the men's national team, apparently. So as we know, the men's national team coach, Greg Berhalter, was having an issue with a certain player during the World Cup.
Who was the player?
Eventually it comes out that player is none other than Giovanni Reina, Dortmund winger, who's really made he's been doing well for himself over in Germany.
Solid player.
Yeah, I think a lot of us kind of expected him to have that breakout World Cup and really announce himself on the world stage, but before he even hops on the flight, Berhalter calls him and says, we're not really expecting too much from you, as in playing time or being a main part of this team, and
you're here for vibes.
Pretty much. So Reina didn't take it the best way, started creating a little trouble in the camp, ended up coming out and apologizing. But
what trouble did he create in the camp?
A lot of players came out and said that he wasn't training properly. He wasn't, it's just a big thing when you're playing soccer. We can all admit is the team camaraderie.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone kind of coming together, environment, atmosphere, creating like a competitive, comfortable yet competitive environment. And I can say I've definitely been on a team where I know one person could change that and really make it a little uncomfortable, intense, and not in a good way. So eventually, the Reinas, who his father Claudio Reina played for the national team
as well.
Yeah, with Greg Berhalter back in the day, came out and drummed up a story from back then when Berhalter kicked his partner, who ended up becoming his wife. Who was like a domestic.
Gio's mom.
Yeah. So once that story kind of came out again, U.S. national team suspended Berhalter for a bit, so there's an interim manager. So basically just a lot of things destabilizing the men's national team.
Just a lot going on. It's a lot of drama. It sounds like a reality TV show. Really quick before we keep going, though, I did see a report yesterday, just speaking on the U.S. national team. Timothy Way got stretchered off in a little game with a head injury yesterday. So it's shouts out to that, like prayers up. Hopefully he's good.
Yeah.
And hopefully everything's all right. But yeah, this is just a bunch of unnecessary freaking drama, bro. This is some American ass shit.
And I think
we can't have sports without politics and a clickbait and something to be on Sports Center every 5 minutes. Like you can't just play. It has to be some type of politics involved.
Nothing like a dad complaining about their kids' playing time.
That is the most American soccer. That's the most soccer thing you can do.
Yeah.
Hey, my kid's not playing enough in the LIJSL. Dog, it's the LIJSL. Hey, they did that up to the U.S. men's national team now. So.
And Pulisic is the captain of the national team, right?
Yeah.
I believe so, yes.
Did he come out saying something about it? Do you know?
I don't remember seeing a statement from him. I know a lot of the team has been pretty reserved. Like, I haven't seen a lot of them say much about it. Like, pretty tight-lipped.
I think he kind of mentioned that it's just like an unwanted distraction that the team definitely doesn't need.
Yeah, probably something his publicist grew up. Yeah, he said the saga is childish. I'm not here to appoint the next manager. It's not my job, and whoever it is, I'm going to play and give it 100%. Pretty right down the middle. Just this is foolishness. I'm not picking a side. Get a coach. Get in. We want to win. Type stuff.
So thinking that the U.S. possibly replaces Greg Berhalter as a coach, Do you guys have anyone you think would be a good replacement? Someone in the pipeline?
There's a really big name that's said to be like super interested in this position.
And who would that be?
Thierry.
Henry.
Thierry. I don't know if these young men are ready for that aggression from someone that thinks just doing the most
Or somebody that's
thing.
better than them at soccer still, probably. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, no, that's wicked. But I mean, like, we've all heard those stories where he's like, why can't you just like beat 4 people and shoot from 30 yards out and ping it like upper 90? It's not hard. And then you're like, coach, what are you talking about? And then he does it in practice at 40. He's like, see, this is what I meant. So like, I don't know if he's the best coach for like a team trying to just
develop,
come up, get to that next level. But it is a great look though.
I
Just
think
that,
it's
like to be taken seriously on it. They're not that they're not taken seriously, but to like add a level of credibility. Like, wow, we're being coached by a legend.
He is a big name for what he's done as a player, but do you think
his coaching career hasn't been the greatest?
His coaching career has been relatively unsuccessful.
Yeah.
If we're looking at
Like
purely
Monaco,
record,
he didn't
do
He
anything
also
well.
coached at Montreal Impact, or
Wasn't he
Montreal
an assistant coach
Senior,
as
whatever you
well
call it.
and didn't do well? Like
He was assistant coach for the Belgium team. That's
Yeah.
been
all he did was a pep talk
underperforming for the last.
with
couple
Lukaku every now
tournaments.
and then.
So, are you guys looking at it as very exciting for the national team? Is there anyone else in mind? Do you
I think it's a
ma-
good look. It adds an air of credibility. It adds like
Mhm.
like this is a real program. We're being coached by a legend. Maybe it's good for both sides. Maybe it's like I can take over a team that's not expecting too much from me, but I can kind of cut my teeth on, get my real like coaching experience here. Like on the world stage, I look good. Like this is me getting to it. And then from there, he can get other jobs or whatever. And this is America getting like a credible coach, not just an American coach that played for the American team or was a goalie or whatever. Like,
Okay.
I think it can be beneficial for both sides, even
Well,
if it doesn't end up in them winning.
I do say
the World Cup.
You mentioned that a team that's not expecting too much from me. I do think
They are expecting a lot,
especially because the World Cup is.
I don't think they're
coming
expecting to win the
to
World
America.
Cup.
Not
Maybe
win it,
not expecting
but
to win it.
That's what I mean in terms of.
at
I
least
think you can coach them
quarterfinals
through
or
quarter.
like-
Hey, I think he can coach them back to where they went out, at the very least.
But we're looking to build on this World Cup. This World Cup, I'll be honest, I was one of the people who said, I don't think the U.S. is making out of their group. So we made it out of the group, a difficult group, and I say we gave the Netherlands
That was a good game.
a little bit
Decent
of a
game.
tough time. I mean, did they get that early goal? Was that it?
yeah.
But apart from that, there was moments where we kind of felt like maybe if we had a little better of a finisher, this would be a different game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, there was some forward play that I was
Yeah,
like, if
bringing
they
in-
had a different coach, this could be going a different way right now. But, it's
The
I
right
don't
name is
know-
definitely more important than just the big name.
Just
Yeah.
at the moment.
I don't know who that is.
Do you think there's an American?
No.
An American who could do the job. I mean, typically you usually want a coach who's from that country, has like the pride.
I personally don't like if I was the head of like a national, I'm not hiring a coach that's not of the nationality of the
national
team.
team.
I'm not a fan of it.
Even though there's a lot of national team coaches that are not from that
Yeah,
country.
it's very common,
A lot of
but
people
I
do
personally
one big tournament,
don't love
yeah.
it.
Countries
Yeah, I
that they
personally don't
not
love
from.
it.
because they're not actually from that. Yeah, but
Right.
the thing is, so like Henry obviously has the big name for himself. He's like
Mhm.
a legend, but his coaching career has been the greatest. So that's kind of one of the things that gives me like a
Possibly
little bit of a red
pundit
flag,
legend.
huh?
I'm saying possibly a pundit legend as well.
Yeah.
He's like pretty good up there.
So I don't know if he's the best fit for the U.S. men's national team, but I don't think the U.S. men's national team has anybody else that's willing to fit that to go into that role right now.
I mean, we do have our biggest American coach is unemployed at the moment, right? Just coming off a lead sacking. How do you feel about Jesse Marsh possibly stepping into that position?
I don't think he's the
I don't
coach to
think
take
he's
us
the
where we
one
want to
to-
go.
No.
Nah,
I
he's
don't
not the
believe.
guy. I think we need a silkier approach, for lack of a better term. We gotta stop playing this just regular ass football, bro. We need to get a little more shifty with it, like touches in and out, tiki taka. Like, gotta get some more character to the football. There's no American soccer identity, or if there's one, it's bland as hell. Like, we need something. We need an identity.
Yeah, something different that's gonna like shock the world, you know?
Yeah, like
Something
give
that
them
you
something.
Don't think that's gonna come from an American coach.
Mitrovic is currently trying to fight the referee. But yeah, we need something that's like substantial. That's like, oh, that is the American brand of football. Like, no one knows what that looks like.
Okay.
I think that's a big part of the next coach. establish a brand of an America brand. If it's one thing America does well, it's branding. Establish that brand of football and build on that. Maybe that should be the goal for the next coach and World Cup.
Agreed.
They got 3 years to do it. So.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? They got some time to pull together who they want. Talk to them on the side. Like, listen, this is what we're trying to build. Like, you know where you're playing. Kind of try to work this into, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can even say, like, hey, when you work on your own, because we know you do, work this into it. Or this is how we're going to be using you. So kind of try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, work on that from now. But you need that coach to say, like, this is the football we're playing and this is what I need from you. There's no identity right now. I think that's the biggest thing.
Gotcha. So, I wanted to ask you guys, because I would say that Gio Reyna kind of spiraled this whole situation we're in right now. Do you think he should be still called up to the national team if he's performing at the level required?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, because it's not his drama,
And
in my opinion. It's his dad.
if that coach is not there,
And if the coach isn't there, then it's just talk.
yeah.
It's just a sports center click that's not going to matter.
I don't think he's really.
If he's performing, pick him.
Those
You don't
players,
really
I
have
think,
the-
don't really want to be involved in that stuff, but it's just like,
None of them sound like all of them are. They literally sound like when you're on a team and this is happening, you're like, yeah, I realize it's just the parents that care about this, right? And we're like, yeah, we just want to play. I think that's exactly what's going on right now. They're just like, oh, the parents are the only ones that care about this. Cool, we really just want to play. That, like, I don't think anyone is like, oh my god, you kicked my mom back. That like, you know what I'm saying? They just want to play and be successful and win. They went to Qatar and did pretty well, and I'm sure that felt great. They want to feel that again at home. If you can establish brand America football at home, that's going to go a long way for American soccer in the long run.
Gio just needs to focus on getting consistent minutes at Dortmund. And
Yeah, just focus on your
regular
career,
starters.
That
and
fixes
then
everything.
Everything else is going to fall into place.
Because all this chatter, if you win a World Cup on American soil, nobody's telling America anything.
No, never.
Nobody's going to be talking about this if America does well in the World Cup. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, have to let your feet do the talking, right?
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Honestly, but yeah, I think so. So that I think that's a good. Like, if I am running the U.S. Football Federation, whatever it's called, that's my goal for the next coach. Establish a brand, work on that brand, like start that, like show that brand to the world on the World Cup stage at home. Show them this is what we're about, and then just keep it pushing forward from there.
Okay.
I think that's a successful next coach. And just to keep you guys updated, Bruno Fernandes just scored a penalty in the 71st minute against Fulham in the FA Cup thing right now. Just as a weird update, I know it's going on live right now, so I just want to keep them like we're on it.
Yeah, all the
Fulham-
United fans.
Fulham could have easily won this game and actually just got 3 red cards.
3 reds?
Yeah, Mitrovic pushed the ref and got a red. Willian got a red for an intentional handball. And I believe there was a 3rd red that I missed in the updates.
I don't know all the rules of soccer, apparently, because it changes every year.
Oh, all the time. I actually
If you touch the ref, then
No,
yeah.
I thought 3 reds. Oh, so it must be 4. If 4 people get disqualified,
I believe it's 4.
then the game's over, right?
No, yeah,
Wait,
it's
if
4.
there's less than 8 people on the field.
Then
Yeah.
you're just done. Right?
But yeah, Willian got a red for basically punching the ball. Mitrovic looked like he wanted to fight the ref, literally pushed him in inside and was like in his face. The ref was just like, we're not doing that, red card. And there's a 3rd that I'm not
That would be hilarious, though.
fully sure.
If they go to penalties.
That would be funny.
And win still.
United doesn't deserve to win this game, so I wouldn't.
How much is left?
It is the 75th minute, so
It's
not too
1-1?
long. Yeah, 1-1.
Wow.
75th minute penalty is what just saved United. So
Alright, so
But yeah.
speaking about the World Cup, though, they actually just expanded it to 48 teams. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that? And expanding it from 32 to 48, that's an additional 16 teams that can
my
make it?
personal statement: if the if the Jamaican men's team can't make it, scrap the program and give the money to the women. I'm being dead serious. The women make the World Cup more regularly, bro. Manchester City's leading scorer, like ever, is a Jamaican woman that plays for the Jamaican national team.
Wow.
Yeah, Bunny Shaw is a Jamaican. She's the city's leading scorer, and she's killing the league.
Supports Manchester City.
Relax. It hurts to say it, but that's what she plays. But yeah, if you can't make it, bro, just be done with it. You know, like, I don't know what to tell you.
I hear that.
But no, I think it's gonna be more interesting because the World Cup is it's just all pride. A quick update: I believe United just scored an offside goal, but it's a pride thing. So I'd like to see more countries. I'd like to see more teams. I do like it. I do like it a lot. And it's not like it's gonna ruin it because the talent's gonna rise like always. So I don't think it's going to ruin it at all. You're just going to have more people having a closer experience with the World Cup. I don't see any downside to it personally.
I will say that I like that it only brings the team to 8 games instead of 7 to go all the way. So
it's not even like, oh God, we're playing
players,
12 games, you know?
But at this point, I do believe 48 teams will be too much. I think the difference between the top 5 teams and the bottom 5 is just going to be out of control, and there's going to be that extra game is just going to end up being a team smacking.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of Costa Rica, Spain.
Yeah, I don't want to see that in the
7-0.
I'll be honest. That's what the World Cup is for. And I want the qualification process to still be competitive.
But
it's okay if a good team doesn't make it. Mm-hmm. That's fine. That's what keeps it competitive. And that's why as a country, you're proud just to make it. You know, some of the smaller countries making it is like an award in itself.
No, absolutely.
But there's a lot of smaller countries that have never made it. Like, think about it. If like how much of a fan base like soccer would get, an additional fan base, and like World Cup wise, and how much more money they would make if like India was in the World Cup.
So the word.
Think about that. Think about how many people are in India.
You got 1 billion people just watching India play
and buying gear and stuff.
Right. So I understand.
Like, think
this
about
is for
it.
money. This is
everything is for money. Yeah.
I understand this is like a bigger business. You can sell to more people. I understand.
More people tuned in, even though it has the most people tuning into anything anyway.
Just make sure it doesn't coincide with like the cricket World Cup.
Yeah, certain countries would be like, that's cute, but cricket's on. But no, I see where you're coming from.
I don't like the idea of adding this, but I could see because it's in 3 countries. And that's the thing too. They're putting the World Cup in 3 countries. I like the idea.
They're starting to do that. Did you see Morocco just said we'll throw in our bid with Portugal and Spain?
Yeah, well, I mean that started with Euro Cup. You know what I mean? That started a couple of years ago with the Euro. Well, that actually started even further back. Was there a World Cup that was a joint World Cup before?
Yeah, there's Japan, Korea.
I think it was 2 countries.
Yeah.
Like that.
They've done 2 before,
but that
I like
makes
the
sense.
3.
Japan,
Germany,
Korea.
Poland might have done 2006.
I like the idea of 3.
Yeah.
But then, like, when you're expanding it, like, so the Euro Cup a couple of years, I think the last Euro Cup was like in like all over Europe. You know what I mean? There was 4 or 5.
Should just be
4 or 5.
Well, yeah, Euro Cup
everywhere.
can be anywhere. We got a game in Luxembourg.
Well, that's the thing about World Cup.
World
Cup can be anywhere.
Yo,
you know what I'm
imagine
saying?
it was
But
the World Cup.
but
You started assigning it to continents. Like, yo, South America got it this year. Figure it out.
I want to watch that Antarctica World Cup.
We can't go there. It's like a government mandates. You got to go to like certain times of the year and stuff.
But that's the thing about Europe is that like Europe is like smaller than like the size of U.S. Like, or I don't know full geography on it, but it's small.
Yeah, I know.
You know
Russia's in there. It can't be bigger. Russia's big.
I mean, Russia's not
Russia's a
part
big
of
boy.
Europe.
No?
Russia's
Oh,
not
yeah,
part-
true. That's like Eurasia. I believe it's.
I'm pretty sure it's part of Asia.
Yeah, it's Eurasia. It's a little both.
Oh, Europe, Russia's considered part of Asia?
I believe they call it Eurasia. I'm not making that term up.
But Israel's considered part of Europe, right?
Israel?
They play in the Euros now.
Israel?
I'm pretty sure they play in the Euros.
They're like in Africa. How are they playing in the Euro?
I don't know. It's
I
like
guess they
it's
can
like
just do
redlining.
whatever.
Here it says, Brandon's right. Russia's 77% of it is in Asia.
Hey,
and
political science, baby. That's all we did.
23% is in Europe.
Half my degree was
They
geography.
play in Europe.
Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They consider.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're a European team. I don't think Israel is. That's a little crazy.
No, look, I'm.
No, I know.
Okay.
But I'm saying
Okay.
that's outrageous. They are solidly in Africa.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me.
Nah,
But okay.
48
How do you
teams.
feel about it? As someone who's always there, literally, how do you feel about the change? Do you care? Do you think it changes much? Like,
So like the 48 teams, like it gives an opportunity for teams that haven't been to a World Cup in a long time. They try. I feel like FIFA's obviously it comes down to money, but an additional 1 game more for a team that's like if usually the higher level teams have a stacked roster anyway, so they don't have problems with having a rotating roster or any of that stuff. So I don't really see any issues in terms of like injuries or any of that stuff. The only issues is that like after a long season, well, I'm hoping like the World Cup. Obviously, this time we don't have to worry about it being in the
hopefully we
winter
don't
time.
cut the season in half.
Yeah,
again.
and then the thing, So they have like 3-4 weeks to like prepare for the World Cup before it starts at the end of the season. So I think it's a good thing. I like it.
Another upside I think can come from it is more teams taking their national programs more
seriously. Yeah.
So if you're from a country that's never made it, you don't think you'll ever make it. How serious are you taking the program? But if you know, hey, it's 48 teams, we can get there. If we can get out of the group, we can make some noise. We can get our players on the national stage, get them some recognition, get somebody to spend some money that they shouldn't spend on them. You know what I'm saying? Like that World Cup effect. Like I think you'll definitely start taking that more seriously.
Yeah, I think it's funny that I think FIFA also considers the fact that like Haaland's gonna be one of the best players in the world, if not the best.
Oh, I didn't think about
And
that. Yo,
has there ever been
you get a job high up at FIFA, my boy?
Has there ever been like a player that hasn't been in the World Cup? You know what I mean? Like Haaland. All right, so Norway has a decent squad now. They have Haaland, they have Odegaard, they have like decent pieces around there. I can see. Even though European qualification is the hardest qualification, I think, to make it to the World Cup. I mean, South America as well, too, but I don't know. We'll see.
I feel you. It's a good one, though. That's a good point.
But, yeah, overall, I think it's a good thing for international soccer, and hopefully, I think it's still going to make it competitive to get in, because it's gonna give teams like more of like, oh, I can make it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then remember, like qualifiers are usually regional.
Yeah, because like think about it, some regions only get a certain amount of slots, you know what I mean?
So now if it jumps 2 more, 3 more,
these 3 teams are automatically gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not even gonna try.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
But now let's say our region
gets 5
slot
for that. Then maybe
we got something to play for.
Yeah,
maybe we beat our rivals that we've never beat before,
and make it more competitive.
I think it'll be fun to watch. You'll see like Samoa play Japan and be like, "This is a good game."
More competitive, but I don't think it's gonna make the actual World Cup any more competitive.
I don't think so either. I think it'll make football more competitive. It'll make more programs better. It'll put more focus on more programs, which I think is better for football as a whole. So you might get like a wonder kid from the Congo, just because like they develop more of their program.
What do you think will be the outer limit? So say they do this, and it works, right? I'm just completely
works in what way? What's working?
Surprising
for this proposal. What works and what's a failure?
The quality is going to go down. We don't see too many blowout games. It's like
underdog might qualify.
So it's literally the same World Cup, but just more teams. Okay.
Yeah. Like, do you think there's an outer limit where? Because I'm sure if it works well, then they might think, well, why don't we add another 10 teams?
No, I think this is the max. This is the max. This is the absolute max. Yeah, no, this is the max. Past this, no one cares. It's not even a real thing anymore. No one's gonna pay attention to it until after group stage. That's when you ruin it.
Yeah,
this is the absolute cap.
The point of the World Cup.
No, this is the absolute cap.
All right, I don't even watch the beginning
because we still watch all group stage. You wake up 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning to watch group stage. Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. If you woke up at 5 in the morning for that, you didn't feel stupid. You're like, I'm tired, but like I saw Saudi beat Argentina. You know what I'm saying? Like that. If you go past that, it's not gonna matter anymore. Yeah. Like we're gonna start watching at the quarterfinals.
The thing, Nick, you say that you think like the World Cup is not gonna be as competitive. Well, I kind of like. I want to play devil's advocate with this because now third place teams can qualify, right? So if there's only 4 teams in the group stage, right? Mm-hmm. The best third place teams, I don't know how many of them, I think it's 4 or 5 of them qualify for the next round, right? So even if you're in 3rd or 4th place, that, like, say you're the worst 3rd and 4th place teams playing against each other, still matters. You know what I'm saying?
Still has something to fight for.
I mean, I can say that maybe once the top teams in the group play against the 3rd place teams, the weakest 3rd place teams, those games might not be that entertaining. But, like, I feel like it's still going to be competitive.
And at the end of the day, you get money for being in the World Cup.
Like, think about it. You have
that to play for, too.
Yeah, exactly. Costa Rica.
Teams have built their program.
Lost 7-0 in the first game to Spain in this World Cup. They almost qualified. You know what I'm saying? Just because you lose 7-0 in the first game doesn't mean that.
Don't feel bad, Leipzig.
You won't qualify.
It happens to the best of us. But no, yeah, seriously, I don't think this changes the competitiveness of it at all. I think even one more team ruins it. Like, I think this is the absolute cap max what you can do with this. Like, that's it. Past this, it's not even real anymore.
I hear you. But I always saw the World Cup as like the best of the best, the cream of the crop. Like seeing that group with Japan, Costa Rica, Spain,
Germany.
And Germany was incredible. Like I thought Germany was my pick to win the World Cup. I'll come clean about that. And seeing them not make it out of the group was cool. And I guess that how the games were going down to the wire, it was this team's beating this team, and
but more teams, we might have 2 or 3 groups of death now.
I guess, but that I don't know if the same drama goes into that last game of the group, when you're adding more teams.
I think it depends on who ends up in what group at this point. With all these teams, it's just like we got to make sure it's decent groups that we want to watch. We don't want to see 4 Pacific Islander teams play each other in the same group. Or, just like just random teams that we've never seen play before that don't have the greatest record or whatever. But if we can get good competitive games, like I don't see a problem.
Yeah, so let's see how it goes.
We'll see.
Should be interesting. Now we have no excuse not to make it to a World Cup game, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's way more games. Speaking of World Cup,
the ticket prices. Woo.
I did want to propose something. All 3 of us are going to the Women's World Cup, like our respective heritage countries, whatever. Do you want to put something on it? Like, whoever goes further gets to pick a punishment for the other 2, which means Juan basically picks a punishment for us. Or do we kind of want to
Wait, but I don't know much about like women's soccer rankings. I know that
I know Spain's better than Jamaica and Haiti. I'm positive of that.
The winner is Spanish.
Yeah.
But we have the leading Premier League scorer for Jamaica.
Yeah, as Haiti, we have. We got a lot of things going on as well.
Yeah, I got a team.
Yeah.
That qualified, so that's something.
I don't know if
no, but it's the first time qualifying. That's not nothing.
I don't know if Nick is willing to risk anything.
But yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about I don't know how worth it is to do it because are we even competitive? But I'll wear a women's Spain jersey. Is it a different jersey or is it a Spain jersey? Yeah, I'll wear a Spain women's jersey if y'all win. Yeah, why not? Get the shorter sleeves. It's just shorter sleeves, right? Aren't their jerseys just shorter sleeves, if I'm not mistaken? And they're a little form fitting?
Yeah, there's a little short.
Yeah, I'll be all right. Show off the arms.
Been working out lately, guys.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Getting to it. But no, that's cool. Hopefully.
That's the summer, right?
Yeah.
In Australia?
In Australia. I wouldn't go anywhere near Australia, but I'll watch it, though. I will watch it. That'll be a good watch. Excuse me. Yes, on from the World Cup.
What do you guys think about my guy, one of my former favorite players to watch, Eden Hazard? Came out this week talking about his relationship with his current manager. If for those of y'all that forgot, Eden Hazard still plays at Real Madrid.
Yeah, Carlo Ancelotti.
He was kind of just talking about the lack of communication there and how I guess he doesn't have the best relationship with Ancelotti, but he did mention that there's still a lot of respect there on both sides. Mm-hmm. How could you not respect Carlo Ancelotti? Honestly, he's won everything in this game. So I just want to ask you guys, from a personal standpoint, did you have any managers or coaches that you didn't have a good relationship with? And was there anything that you kind of did to circumvent that or kind of help the situation?
When I was on U14, I was having the worst season of my life. I was not informed. Son.
Yeah.
It was I was mad at myself a lot. I'm like, yo, dog, we are what's happening?
Was it the team in general not doing
well?
No,
Brandon was having a bad season. I was not playing to the standard that I was known to play for. So my coach was if you don't get better, if you don't fix it, we're gonna drop you from the team. And I was like, bitch, I've been here since the team started. You crazy? These are all he's bugging. So I started training with another coach at the club, just personal training, just get into it, getting back to who I knew I could play as. And just getting those reps in and stuff like that went a long way. And then that.
So your response was to work harder.
Yeah, I mean, if I knew I wasn't playing. It's not like it was politics where he was like, "You're not gonna play because fuck you." It's just like, yeah, you play like shit, like, and it hasn't changed in a couple games. Like, we might gotta explore some other options, and I'm like, that's fair. I'm not playing great, so you know what I'm saying? Like, fix it. That was kind of my approach to it. Any other coaches I've ever had like negative? I've always been pretty cool with coaches. Like, I've always like. It's either like we're really close.
Teacher's pet on the team for sure.
Not even that so much as just like, I really want to win. If you really want to win, whatever you say, I'll do that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like a jokey type of person. Like, I don't really take much seriously, especially as a kid. So like, it was fun in practice. Like, we were always joking around. It was fun. So like, I had good relationships with coaches. So I think the first time I ever like looked at a coach is just like, oh, this is just a person at the head of this team, was like college.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I never really dealt with that till later on, but it's difficult. That can the relationship with your coach is very, very, very important in my opinion. A lot of coaches are like don't want to say overseer. They're like the tough guy, like the dictator. That breeds camaraderie because you have a common enemy, for lack of a better term. I know a lot of teams that are close because they hated their coach. The coach is a great coach, but he just sucked to be around. But they're so close because they had that to bond over. And to this day, they're like, you remember how much asshole he was? Like, I know teams that are close because of that. There's coaches that the team is close because they're all close with the coach. Like, this is like, I coach you all differently because I know your personalities. We've basically grown up together, so I know you guys. There's that coach.
Right.
Then there's the indifferent coach, where it's just like there's factions on the team. It's nothing bad. It's just like these 3 guys are great friends. These 3 guys are great friends. These 4 guys grew up together. We're a team, but we have different whatever. Coach is a neutral coach. He just coaches
Team with a bunch
whatever.
of little teams inside of it.
Yeah. Sometimes that's not the ideal, but sometimes it's fine. It's just what it is. Yeah. It's just like different personalities. We gravitate to each other. Cool. But I think just if a manager freezes you out, there's really nothing you can do, and you're not telling me why I'm not playing. There's no like as he's saying, there's no communication. There's nothing you can do really, other than stay in shape, stay in form, and try to get a move away. And we know he doesn't like to stay in shape. So no, that doesn't help. I'm sure it doesn't help that he's not like the most hardworking guy ever. He's more so just like, I'm skilled and I'm gonna show up and make it happen. That's not gonna help if the coach isn't really your biggest fan.
Right.
So I feel bad for him. That Madrid move was like his dream move, and it didn't work out. He could have been he probably still is a Chelsea legend, but he still could have been one of those guys that like they let him get a coaching job just cause, you know what I'm saying, like 10 years from now. Like, he could have been on that level.
Can you imagine Hazard coaching?
Exactly.
For practice, he'd be like, oh, let's just go for a walk.
Yeah, it's like
just walk around.
So like, how y'all think we should
smoothies today, guys?
Even his taxes, like, yo, just go do it. Like,
he'd stop the team bus and be like, yo, hold on.
Oh, that's my spot.
Is that Chinese food?
Oh man, the team trips would be Suniac-esque.
Buffet?
Suniac-esque with the trips, for real. Golazo, Dios mío.
Anything you wanna add on that topic? Or,
yeah, have you ever, like, how was your relationship with coaches? Like, have you ever experienced that, like, I'm not really feeling this guy and I don't know why?
Brings back memories.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
It's something you don't want to, like, touch on, or?
I honestly don't know if I handled it the right way, but it worked.
How old were you?
I was in college.
What happened? Well, are you comfortable talking about it?
Yeah, we can talk about it. So like
safe space.
My freshman year, I didn't play too much. I was sick a lot, whatever. So I obviously didn't have like the coach's trust, playing a lot or whatever. But I did that summer. I did train a lot. Definitely stepped up my game a tremendous amount. I came into preseason. I was ready. I was playing a lot more with a lot more confidence. The coach was even seeing it in me. But some coaches just have their players from the previous season.
Yep.
Like, there wasn't a lot of people that left from the previous season, so a lot of coaches like to keep things the same and not really switch it up too much. Even though I was performing a lot better than a lot of the players that were in my positions, that were playing in my position. So it was like, I gave it a couple games into the season and I wasn't playing. So I basically just went into the coach's office. I spoke to him, and I just basically said, like, when you need me the most, I'm not gonna be here. And since that day, the next game, he started playing me, and I basically became a starter after that.
No, that's a solid point though. Like,
So,
yo, remember, all them
if I
people
had
ain't gonna be
never-
freshmen forever.
If I had
or-
never went into his office and said this to him, I probably would have sat the whole season on the bench, even though I deserved to be playing on the field. You know what I mean? So
I don't think you handled that
it
wrong
is-
at all.
It is
Blackmail? You think blackmail is the...
Is it blackmail or is it no? But think
I
about it
literally
like
told
this:
him, I was like, if you don't play me, I'm gonna transfer. There's a ton of other schools that like I could be playing at right now.
Is it blackmail or is it listen?
Or-
You have me on the bench. I will leave. Do you realize if I leave, you will not have put someone in this position?
that was-
It's common sense
Yeah,
that
I'm
you
just
don't
messing
seem to be
around.
seeing.
I'm messing around. But
No, but like as a coach, why do I have to bring that to your attention?
And
No,
the
you
thing
were
is,
honest.
clearly in the back of his head, he knew I was right. Or else
Exactly,
he
but like,
wouldn't
why do
never
I
made
have
that
to?
change.
Why do I have
You know
to
what I'm
remind
saying?
you of that?
But the
You're
thing
the coach.
is, like, why?
You've been doing this forever.
Because, yeah, he knew that I was next up. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like, he just like wanted to keep his normal his players that he had right then and there. You know what I'm saying? Even though maybe I wasn't performing a lot better than that person in that position, and like that person was still doing a decent job enough. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Right.
know. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But like, I was performing better than that person in that position, so I felt that I deserved to be playing at least a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
If not like starting. You know?
yeah, no, I hear you.
And
You
when
know
I
what?
don't get any minutes, and especially against like towards the beginning of the season, sometimes you play in non-conference games and you play against teams that aren't the greatest. You
Across
know?
the river.
So like if anything, I should be getting more minutes because it should be something split between me and that other player to see if in conference play who deserves to play. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I understand conference play, like it means a lot more. You know what I mean? You're trying to win a whole conference, but like when you're in non-conference play, like that's the time where you should be trying.
So we experiment.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
to see who's the best fit. You know.
I hear that.
I was gonna say it also goes a long way when a coach makes it very clear that playtime is merit based. So
Oh,
if you know, like, if I'm working hard and I'm playing hard and I'm playing at the best of my ability and that happens to be better than someone else, I will get that recognition in that playing time.
Yeah.
If it's just I can be Ronaldo right now and he's gonna play that guy because he likes him more, or that's his man's 50 grands from however long, or he coached him in high school too. Why am I working hard?
No,
I'm working hard to go to another school. I
Yeah.
just want them to see me play, but then they won't be able to see me play. So what am I sending them footage from high school? It gets frustrating. You know what I'm saying? It's so if a coach, I think the biggest thing a coach can do is let him know that it's merit based. If it is merit based, if it's
Yeah.
not, let him know. Let me
Yeah.
transfer then. Just be honest. Like if you're an honest, I think honesty goes a long way as a
Oh, yeah.
coach.
I think one of the biggest
For any
frustrations.
relationship you want to build.
That was one of the biggest frustrations I got when I got to college too. I was just like, oh, you're just saying stuff.
one
I
of-
didn't know that. Like,
One of the biggest frustrations to me was, well, my freshman year I was in no place to be playing, in terms of like just my health in general, but in terms of like other people that were next up to be playing in a certain position, when a player is literally on the field limping, he has a torn hamstring, and the coach still decides to play him instead, and he's literally like limping on the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Vividly.
like
And like
Quite
the
clearly
coach does
hobbled.
not play somebody else. To me, that just like a huge disrespect to everybody else that's on
and it
the
sends a
bench.
very
that
specific
somebody
message.
that has one leg
Is better
is,
than you.
He
foot.
thinks that somebody that has one leg that can barely do anything is better, or he just trusts that person that. Like, come on! Like, are you serious? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it literally sends a message.
How
of,
would
like,
that make you feel?
I
You know what I'm
understand
saying?
he's injured to the point where he's useless.
Exactly.
But that's
He's
better
literally
than you being on the
useless.
field.
But
That's still better than you on the field. That's that like a lot of
To me, that,
young players
that really
aren't coming
showed
back
me,
from
like,
that.
Yeah, wow, like it takes a lot for this guy to change his mind. You know what I mean? Like,
And it also just makes you
and
like,
especially when you're
what
not
do
winning
I-
games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you were winning games and that person was limping, okay, I can't say anything. But when you're losing and you're still doing the same shit, come on.
What's the point?
Come on, yo. Like, we all have two eyes, you know what I'm saying? We see what's going on. That's clear favoritism. I don't
And
care.
some coaches don't
I don't
care.
care if it's your senior year or what you did in the past. You know what I'm saying? This is soccer. This is based off performance
What
of
have
what
you
you
done
do
for
for me
me
right now.
lately?
You see it at the professional level. It should be seen at the college level as well too. If you're not performing right now, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like players drop off, players get better. You know what I mean? If you're not performing for me right now, then sorry.
it.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I completely agree.
I feel bad for you. You got hurt, but like next up, you know what I mean? It's like
Gotcha.
that's
I mean,
the way it should be.
So you're saying like if you see favoritism in the relationship between coach and player, that like fractures the relationship for you between.
I think for almost anyone.
I
Because
mean,
it may not even be the player's fault. What if the coach just likes this player for some reason? Now you have younger players looking at them crazy.
Yeah.
You have their age mates looking at them crazy. Can I trust this person? Is he running back to? There's a lot that goes into that. That it breeds a lot of malcontent in the team.
Every coach has favoritism, right? And like even if he wasn't performing at the highest level, if he wasn't injured and he was still playing him and he wasn't still at the highest level, I'd be like, all right, there's favoritism, but like every coach has favorites. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
But
You can
when
make
a
it known like
player-
these are my favorites, but sit
when
your
a
favorite
player
ass on the
is
bench right now.
vividly injured and the trainer literally told him like, yo, your hamstring is messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't be playing on this. You know what I'm saying? And like you can see him limping on the field. All right, that's a level where like you don't, as a player, that's the most extreme disrespect like you can ever get. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I wasn't the player was supposed to be playing in that position. There was another player that the coach didn't like that much that should have been playing, that was better than him in the first place. You know what I mean? And we all know who we're talking about right now, and he deserved to be playing. And like, yeah, he wasn't the most disciplined player on the team, but he was better than him even if he was 100%.
Nah, I hear you, man.
So
Yeah, man.
when you see that as a player, that's like extremely disrespectful. You know what I mean?
I have a question. So coming into a team as a freshman, how do you know, like, what's the best way to get that, like, a scope of that coach? Because they always present their best selves to you. So, like, how do you pick the right program? And are players going to be honest with you on your visit? Like, how do you figure out the coach that's best for you?
Yeah, I would definitely say
That's a
try
task.
I think because on every team there's probably someone who's
Disgruntled, but how do you find them in a
so that's
in a
little
2 day visit?
difficult, but just try to talk to as many people that are in the program as possible, players wise. Because I can at least say for myself, I was someone who hosted recruits. Me and Juan did
I hosted
that
2
together.
recruits.
And I can,
So-
yeah.
I can definitely say I understand, like, this is 4 years of your life. This is a big decision where you go to school. So I was never there to, like, BS any kid or tell them it's all sunshine and rainbows. The first thing I told them was, listen, I'm not coach. Like, I won't lie to you. Ask me anything, and I will try to answer it as truthfully as I can.
Yeah.
Not even as
you'd be-
truthfully as, like, to the best of my ability, because so I would like to think a lot of players would operate that way, and if you ask them, if you're a recruit and you're checking out schools, if you ask them, they'll like tell you the truth. But yeah, I mean, it, like you were saying, it is difficult because
It's 2 days at
the coach
most.
is gonna roll out the red carpet for you, make you think you're like the only.
Yeah,
player
and then let's
he
say you
wants
do
in
talk
that
to someone
position.
disgruntled. You're like, well, I'm hot shit. Why were you disgruntled? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They
so
it's and then
it
what questions
can
do you
be
ask?
definitely
Like
very
it's
difficult,
hard
but
to know a coach's personality without playing for him. That's tough because like if I knew the personality of certain coaches like beforehand, it would have made it had a big impact on my decision to play for that team. You know what I'm saying? Or even to set up more visits or to not cancel other visits. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna
Like,
say the more
I
time
canceled
you
2
spend
visits
with
after
your-
going to our school.
Gotcha. So,
Yeah.
and I would say try to like spend as much time with that person as possible. The more time you spend with someone, probably the better idea you get of who they actually are. So maybe just not like one visit.
A good
or
point,
just
too, is, like-
emails back and forth. Maybe try to like get in front of them a couple of times.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll learn a thing or two. And
Just in retrospect, I feel like kind of trust your gut too. Like, do you feel physically and like just in general comfortable around this person?
Yeah.
Because this is your coach. Like,
I
you
can,
have to have a relationship with this person at some point. If you just feel like this is just like a position, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like there's nothing personal there. It was just like you're a coach,
like
and I'm a player.
A leader is someone you believe in, right?
Yeah.
Someone
It felt like a CEO.
You felt like
Like our coach to me felt like a CEO. After the recruiting process and like being, it just felt like someone removed from like I play for this corporation and he owns it, but like that's really it.
Gotcha.
I never really felt any other.
Like, me and Nick spoke about this actually over the weekend. Like, there's no bad teams. There's bad leaders. There's a difference. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Some teams is trash.
Yes, I agree with you. But
Like you
there's
could
so
give
many
them like Sir Alex Ferguson and they're not winning games.
There's so many different examples.
Well, before you get into it,
yeah.
continue with your point, but you saw what happened when Ferguson left the same exact team.
No,
and then one
that's
year
fair.
later,
Everybody talks about
changed
that,
the
but I'm talking
manager.
about there's some teams where it's just like there's no helping them. Like this has to be dismantled. We need new players. Like they're just not good enough.
Okay, and part of like the right leadership is that they'll
Get the
Yeah,
assess
recognize that.
who's not
Yeah.
part of the right
Yeah.
program. Sorry when I cut you off there. What were you saying?
No, so I was saying, like, we were speaking over the weekend. We were talking about how there's no bad teams. There's bad leaders. You know,
Right.
like, if you have a good leader and you know how to coach well and you know how to pick the right players that fit your system, I'm a big believer that your team is going to be at least average. You know, like, you might not have the best players, but if you have the right system, like, your team will be at least
Right.
like an average squad. Like,
I can
if
agree
you,
with that.
Huh?
I can agree with that.
So a prime example, I'm gonna relate to the basketball. So we March Madness FDU, right? Last year FDU's record was 4-22.
Yikes.
This year their record is 20-15. They got a new coach. Got promoted. He's a Division II coach. FDU's in D1. And he brought 3 of his best players from this team. It's St. Thomas Aquinas University. 3 of his best players that didn't get the opportunity to play Division I basketball. Brought him in, and he just beat the number 1 team in the country. And
After
this
saying
team was 4-22 last year. So he brought in 3 players that were underdogs basically their whole life. You know what I mean? Because clearly they could have been
Not
playing
like
at the.
blue chip
Because they're averaging 16.5 points, 14.5 points, and I think like 8 points or something. So clearly they had the ability to be playing at the Division I level, and a coach that trusted them brought them in, and now they beat the number 1 team in the country in March Madness, won their conference, and they're 20-15.
So that change in management.
Yeah.
Coach brings the
Changed
best out of
everything.
you.
So
Really can.
to me, that just shows you like what was wrong with that team when they were 4-22. Clearly, the leadership wasn't good. You know what I mean?
Right.
He brought in 3 different players. I mean, I don't know how many other players he recruited, but these were Division II players. If you had the right players, then they should have been playing Division I. You know, so I don't.
Nah, that's a great point.
No, definitely. And then leadership, a big part of leadership is recognizing talent and then maximizing that talent. So if you can see people that are being, for lack of a better term, slept on, and then you can have them performing at the level that you and they both know that maybe they don't even know at the level you are positive they can perform at. Like, I know I can take this kid, and with my coaching, I can get him to this level.
Yeah.
That's a very big part of coaching, because realistically, as a college coach, you can't really change much in a year. This guy brought in 3 players and changed the entire mentality of that team.
Yeah.
That's all he changed. It was the mentality, and I'm sure the work ethic. I'm sure those are the only 2 things he really changed. Plays, of course, whatever, but I'm sure he had them buy in. I'm sure there's more discipline on the team than there was before he got there. There's a lot of little change that you can see as a player, especially we all play college sports. There's a difference when a team is disciplined and has a set, and it's from the top down. If the coach is a certain person that does things a certain way and doesn't waver from that, it goes down to the captain, who expects that from his upperclassmen, who expect that from the lower class, from the freshmen or whatever, who expect that from the next class coming, who expect that from it all trickles down. But if you have a coach this is the rule, you my guy, I'll break it. Then the captain's gonna be like, yo, we said we're not doing X on Thursday. Homie did X, Y, and Z though. All right, bro, just don't do it again. Then it starts to not matter. You were late to practice.
Whatever
Does that
you
mean anything?
accept
You were
becomes
late
the
to the
new
field
standard.
house. Does that mean anything? Like, or were you just late? You know what I'm saying? I want to be the type of coach where if you are 10 minutes late, don't come. Because I'm going to tell you you're not playing today. Just don't come. Why? But why are you 10 minutes late? You're in college.
Save the gas money. Right?
You're in college and your schedule is set, so you are free to come to practice. Why are you late? You have no reason to be late. Don't come. You know I'm gonna tell you you're not playing today. Don't come here.
I don't think
Good point.
as a coach you're supposed to be a leader, and if you're not really leading, then like, are you really doing your job?
Or if you're not leading, I think strong leadership and leadership are two very different things. Like leadership is just like, hey, I'm the head of this thing we doing. Like that's my position, so you kind of gotta rock with me because that's my position. Strong leadership is, yeah, we all work for this thing, but this is my ship. And it runs like this. And if you want to be on this ship, you're going to follow these rules that make the ship run like this. Mm-hmm. If not, you can go overboard. That's fine. But the ship not going to stop for you. Because there's 52 people on this ship that got to get to where we're going. We're not stopping for one. We could throw one off and be 51 people. That's fine. But this ship has to get where it needs to go.
Of course.
That's the type of leader you need, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You need strong leadership. If it's
There's
weak at the top,
and non-effective leaders.
yeah. If it's weak at the top, it'll waver. If it's weak from the top, it'll never trickle down ever.
And I do like how when you mentioned good leaders, Brandon said identifying talent, but he followed that by saying maximizing talent. Mm-hmm. Right?
Absolutely.
I think a lot of college coaches can like see a kid and think he's good, whatever. But I'm not sure if the majority can actually say a lot of their players walked out better players
than they came in.
So,
Yeah.
And if they did, was it because of you as the coach, or did they put in work on the side?
mm-hmm.
And then how does that make you feel as a coach?
Yeah.
Right.
He maximizes his talent on his own. So did I pick up a kid that I know is low maintenance, or did I get lucky?
That's true.
And then if he's low maintenance, I can probably help him maximize more than he's going to do on his own. Because as hard as you work on your own, someone pushing you is always going to be harder.
Yeah. Agreed.
So if you have that work ethic and I'm a coach and I can't maximize your talent, why am I here? Maybe I should be a talent scout. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should be a
recruiter.
Yeah. No, but some people you can tell like he recruits the hell out of a team and that's where it stops. Like there's a lot of coaches like that where it's just like, hopefully you can figure it out in the system, but you got the skill to do it. So I hope you're that type of player. A lot of coaches will be like, hey, I'm not going to beg you to do anything. So if you need to get better and you don't, that's on you. If you need extra work and you don't recognize it, or I tell you need extra work and you don't follow up and do it, that's on you. I'm not going to get you up out of your bed to run. Some coaches, I was watching a Damian Lillard interview with JJ Redick on the way here. He said his coach was outside his class like, yo, you can't be, like, I can't be late to class. My coach is there. Like, he's at the door, so I have to be there before him. Like, he's making sure I'm sitting in the front row of class.
Yeah.
Like, but if you go to a small school like that, that's also a little more possible. So there's a lot of variables. But it's intent, it's effort. I think a lot of it is show, for lack of a better term. A lot of being a coach is show. So as coming in as a freshman, you got to see a big display of something. You got to see like, oh shit, he just blacked on like a senior for being late. Like, damn.
Yeah.
You got like that's what I mean when I say show. You have to see something early. So it doesn't have to be real. They don't know you yet. So you can never yell like that for the next 4 years, and they'll only see it in preseason maybe. But they got to know that you're serious.
Of course.
There has to be a big show of it. Like, you know how like TV shows about, oh, go to jail and punch the biggest guy in the face, like that, whatever. It's kind of like that. Like if I'm a coach, I'll probably tell the senior too. Like, yo, show up to practice 10 minutes late today. No, seriously, come to practice 10 minutes late today. I'm gonna yell at you and kick you the fuck out of practice.
Yeah.
For the freshman and the sophomore's sake. Like I genuinely think I would like stage that every year. Just so you know, like this is the program you're coming into. Act accordingly. We're not the military. We're gonna have fun here, but you're never gonna step out of line, and you're gonna have all the fun in the world, and you're gonna win if you never step out of line. If you step out of line, you're not gonna win the team.
Point, I think it does a lot for everyone. Part of the organization, if you see that, like we're all treated the same.
Yeah,
we're not breaking the rules for certain people. It's like
it goes a long way.
That, you know, has been the starting right back for the last 4 years, but he's still getting chewed out by coach. Like, I better make sure I'm on my shit.
Because you got to realize, whether you do it on purpose or not, the first 2 weeks of anything is when you assess how I'm going to do what I do here. Can I get away with stuff? If you're that type of person and looking for a little, I'm that type of person. I look for loopholes. I look for anything to get away, just to see if I can get away with it. Yeah. I've always been like a little mischievous or whatever. So like, I'm going to test your gangster a little bit, right? Like, I'm going to see like, how does he act towards certain players? So like I play like the perfect player for a little bit, but if I start to see certain chinks in the armor, I'll start to play with certain stuff. You don't care about lateness? Come to the field house 5 minutes late just to see, just to see. You don't give a fuck. No one cares. Wow. Okay. Now if I'm 10 minutes late and I'm here before other people that are supposed to be enforcing this, that's a problem. Now I can do what the fuck I want to do in terms of lateness, right? So like if I have homework or if I have something, I'm not gonna shit. I'm gonna do my shit and then get on the way to practice. 10, 15. They don't care. That's what I've been trained to see. But if I see a kid forgets or he's like, oh coach, I'm late, but I was getting taped. Why didn't you get to the field house early enough to get taped to be here on time? Get out. I'm never gonna be late again. Yeah. That's the first day of practice I've ever had with this coach. For the next 4 years, I'm never gonna be late again.
It only takes one time.
It literally is one time. You will never be late for the next 4 years if you see that one time.
There wasn't ever that one time.
Oh, I'm not even talking about our personal experience. That's never happened in my experience there. But in general, you need that. Because when you start a new job, I try to see what I can get away with.
Yeah.
I repeat again, whatever you accept becomes the new standard.
Exactly.
So if you accept that, that's just what it is now.
Yeah.
It's the standards.
And that's human nature. If someone like lets you know, hey, you can do X, Y, and Z, I'm not really going to care. If it's in your nature to do X, Y, and Z, you can do it all the time. If it's not in your nature, you're still gonna do it sometimes. Just because you know you can get away with it. I had a coach, we used to run laps. At a certain point, he stopped watching us. Did we do all 4 laps?
That takes me back,
Yeah.
It was times when he got to the field.
That takes me back to high school.
There was times the coach got there late, we told him we ran 2 laps already. Why are you late? You late. Now I could just make up whatever. You were late. Our parents are bringing us here. We are at the mercy of them, and we still here before you. We did 2 laps. That's on you. Now I know what I can. If you are late, why can't I be late? You the top of this. We here doing nothing. We here doing foolishness before you reach here because you're late. I'm not gonna do what I want to do.
That is team bonding though, to lie to a coach.
Oh my god, that's what I'm saying. Even
the same lie.
If you can get the team on the same page, if you can get the team on the same page, however you get them on the same page, that's camaraderie. If you hate your coach together, that is the best bonds I've had is because we hated the coach. I swear to God. So this guy's an asshole. Like we all was just like, right, we agree. Like that goes a long way. As long as you can get on the same page in some sense or fashion, it goes a very long way. I genuinely believe that.
So, with all that being said, do you guys think Hazard should leave Madrid or not?
100%.
If I'm Hazard, I'm going to be a Galactico, man. It's in my destiny. I just got my little Nike deal, my little Nike modeling deal. I'm out of here. England's cool, but it's cold.
No, Eden Hazard, not Holland.
I swear he said Holland, my bad. If I'm Hazard, I'm out of there. But where do I go? Back home?
Go to the States at that point.
New York Red Bulls. We got space for you.
Why not? I go watch Eden.
We got that designated.
So we got the budget?
I go watch Eden. I would. However, we need to segue into this topic that I think I'm upset about because I'm old, but I genuinely find this to be an issue. Nike's not doing kangaroo leather in the Tiempos anymore. Well, in anything. But we all know Tiempos to be kangaroo leather.
Yeah, end of an era.
What? It's like the softest, most supple leather. Like, it gets better over time. Like, what's going on? Well, are they endangered or something? Are kangaroo endangered?
I think there's like 24 million kangaroos in Australia.
Is that endangered? I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest, I made that number up. There's a lot of kangaroos. There's not a lot of kangaroos. But I think the main issue is in Oregon, where the Nike headquarters is. They changed the law that you can't use kangaroo leather.
Oh, and that's the headquarters.
Not to say like that's where all the production happens.
But I think you're bound by the rules of your headquarters, which is why some people
take their headquarters
to Panama, so they don't have to like no like if you if this is so random, if you go on a cruise, most cruise lines like their base office is in Panama or like a random country because like if you commit a murder on the water, it's not really a crime. Like you can kind of get away with anything.
What?
It's wild. Like it's really hard to get like charged with something on the cruise, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
So the cruise is just like the purge waiting to happen.
Low-key. You ain't see COVID thrived on the cruises, bro? Like,
true.
cruise is a wild place. I never been on a cruise, but cruise is a wild place. In my opinion. From what I've seen, it's a wild place.
Stays on the cruise.
But how many, I don't know, how many are kangaroo endangered? I just want to see. Is it kangaroos or kangaroo?
Kangaroos.
I don't know. I was trying to get sexy with a kangaroo.
Nah, but as like a winger and a speed player, I didn't wear too many like leather boots.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think you wore
Tempo. Because it's always a bit heavier, right?
Yeah.
If you want that real leather feel, the cleat's going to be heavier. So I wanted 0 parts of that. But the few times I did wear like a kangaroo cleat, that was always like the best touch I had on any boot by far.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I love the kangaroo leather. But it's always just too heavy, you know. It was a little out there. So I definitely will miss like that.
I never owned a pair of Tiempos.
Leather quality.
But I did play in a pair once, literally one time. It was the white Tiempos with the kangaroo leather. One of my friends, we swapped boots. So I let him wear the Galaxy Christies that came out that year. And then I wore those one game. And I loved it.
Didn't you have the Dinos? Those was definitely kangaroo.
That was back in the day, though.
Yeah, but that's kangaroo.
I was young. They were fake. I didn't buy real cleats until, like, I was a teenager. But, yeah, the kangaroo leather, like, it was nice. It was nice to play with. The boot was heavy, but as someone that liked to play passes out of the back instead of like kick it, really did enjoy playing with the Tiempos. It was like definitely a midfielder's boot. I liked it a lot. But I'm weird with boots. I was a center back my entire life, and I've never worn anything but Mercurials, CR7s. If they weren't Mercurials, they were CR7s.
Big diva shit.
Kinda.
Big diva shit.
But I was a Ronaldo fan, and half of soccer was looking good while you played. So it was Ronaldo cleats, Ronaldo ankle socks. Then the cleat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I taped my wrist for no reason. I taped my ear one time. I didn't have earrings yet. Like, Ronaldo was a really big impact on me. So it was always Mercurials. And I liked them. They were light. The one thing that was good and bad about it as a center back, if you step on somebody's foot, those two cleats and the two studs in the back, when they switch to 2 instead of 4, those hurt so bad. But the flip side is, when you have real Mercurials, the upper is so thin. I had like a sprained toe for like 2 years straight because every game someone would step on my toe and it would just stay sprained. No, it's like they would step on like the knuckle of it. It was just sprained. It just hurt. Like my toe just hurt all the time. Like putting on certain shoes. Like I used to go ski boots hurt to put on. Like it was just bad. But
this is probably how it felt like in the 70s when they told you can't wear mink anymore. Like in the 80s.
And what you mean, baby?
You know what I mean? You
can't wear ice blue mink.
But they told you, nah, no more fur coats.
No more fur coats in the workplace. What you talking about, baby?
Like, should I just stockpile Mercurials now? Should I just buy like 10 pairs?
You think they're gonna go out of style?
Huh?
You think they're gonna go out of rotation or something?
No, there's not gonna be no more kangaroo Mercurials. Should I like just?
I mean, they'll just make regular leather. I'm sure. Cow leather, even though that might be a little aggressive.
Cow leather.
I mean, cow leather makes all leather boots and stuff that we see.
But what if leather stops being real leather and just goes to like synthetic leather?
That's corny.
That's what I'm saying.
Peter's ruining soccer. Hot take. Title of the episode.
I was a big
These
fan.
damn activists.
I was a big fan of the Tiempos, but the only thing downfall for them, especially wearing like kangaroo leather, is that when it get wet, they're so heavy, you know.
Yeah.
So I just felt like I was like I had
Remember
like 3 pounds on me. You know?
On the field?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like
worker boots.
Mercurials had like vents for that.
Yeah.
God, that's such a good
Mercurials
boot.
are like waterproof.
It's such a good
I don't even
boot,
know
bro.
what they got.
Everything about that boot is amazing.
Except when you get stepped on.
Yeah. It hurts. Bad. Like that upper is too thin. But then again, that's the closest. If you wear a thin sock with a Mercurial, that is the closest it feels to playing barefoot. Like the ones I have now is the closest I've ever felt to playing barefoot in my life. It's only that I have to play with ankle socks, so it dulls some of the feeling. But bro, like that thin upper goes a long way. Shout out to that though. My Sunday league starts this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So the Brandon highlight tape will be posted to.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. If y'all want the highlight tape, let me know. I don't know what position I'm be playing this year. You know what I'm saying? They might beg me to play center forward. You know, but we gonna see.
At least 1,000 likes on this video. Get the Brandon.
Oh, so they're not getting no tape. They're not getting no tape, baby. I just won't film them. That ain't no problem. I at least tape 4 years from now.
First video that get the 1,000 likes. The video after, we will post Brandon's highlights.
Y'all not gonna get no highlights, baby. I'm not going to videotape. Don't
You
worry
say
about
that
it.
now, but you know.
Imagine this one clip from this goes viral and it gets 50,000 likes. And now we got to bring Kenny to all my games on Sunday.
Hey, if it's getting 50,000 likes, we bring it to
Listen,
every
if
game.
it's getting them types of likes, we going to pod from the post game. We pod.
All sweaty.
Yeah, y'all going to interview me. I feel like I did well. You know.
Why you only scored 3 today, though?
You know, I was holding myself back. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to embarrass the other side. You know, it's a sportsmanship kind of thing. You know, just give them those bullshit answers.
Yeah.
But it sounds like this is the part of the pod where we start getting really random. So we should wrap it up.
Let's,
I'm not gonna lie, El Clasico is starting really soon. It's 2:57. So what were you about to say?
No, I was gonna bring up the biggest game of the weekend, El Clasico. Obviously.
Yes, we're gonna abandon you guys because that's coming out. Quick picks.
Oof, I got Madrid like 3-2 today. I'm feeling.
Nick is on the run from the law today, but what's your pick? I don't know if you want to give up too much information about yourself.
Nah, Madrid has to win.
They have to.
No choice.
Okay.
Or else the league's over. If Barca wins this, the league's over. If Madrid wins this, there's still a chance.
And they have to win. No time.
Win.
I feel you.
No choice.
What are you, B?
I'm gonna go Real Madrid, but one last topic. I know it's late. The game's coming up, but we have to talk about it because it could lead to the end of a career, a very promising young career. This weekend, Arsenal played. We saw young Saint West in the crowd with his mother, Miss Kim Kardashian. Afterwards, on Twitter, I did see Mr. Saka on FaceTime with Miss Kardashian. Do we have any thoughts? I know our producer wanted us to touch on this, so do we have any thoughts about this? Do we see Saka's career ending now, 6 months from now, 8 months from now?
He had a good run. It was good for him. You know what I mean? He enjoyed a successful career.
Yeah, but it's pretty much coming to an end now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start thinking about what he's going to do after soccer.
Yeah.
Retirement.
Kardashian curse is definitely going to get him if he keeps this foolishness up. So I wish him the best. I hope he cuts that shit out. If not,
Just don't get involved. Man.
I hope if he falls out of form and that happens, he gets a sports psychologist and then comes to United. But other than that, I do wish him the best, and I hope he.
Psychologist. Who's been the same after? You think a psychologist is
He's
changing
gonna
that much
help you
after
with the Kardashian, bro.
Listen,
You think Kanye didn't try a psychologist?
they've driven
Be
people.
careful. Next thing you know, Saka's hanging out with Tristan Thompson.
Oh God! Oh my God! If I see Saka 5'9" chilling with Tristan Thompson, bro, it's over, dog. That's the end of the race. That's the end of the games. Clipped. Good night, folks. We had a good run. Damn, Saka. Damn, Saka. That brother.
He scored 2 today, so I guess Kardashian helped him score. Gave him a little extra boost, but nah.
Ooh,
He's
I got
just in
my
trouble.
Sunday League jerseys today. That's nice. But yeah, other than that, I got Real Madrid winning this week. We're going to watch this game, probably get some food, who knows. Want to thank you guys again for watching. It's been another Over the Top podcast, another Over the Top Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in. If you're at this part of the pod, I say it every time, I really appreciate you. This is a long time to be watching 3 former college soccer players get their shit off about soccer. So, thank you again. I've been Brandon.
Nick.
And Juan. We're out.
Get out of here, baby. You can't find Nick. He's on the run, my boy. Maybe next